Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the moment came. Yes. We knew it was going to come, but it finally is official. Jasson Dominguez joins the Yankees during this Royals series as the Yankees take 2 out of 3 against a team they may actually be facing in the wild card round, and actually would be a little concerned with that because for a good chunk of the series, the Royal starters did shut down this Yankee offense, but the Yankees are able to squeak away the final game there in extra innings. It's like the third or fourth walk-off the Yankees have had this season. Again, usually the extra inning games for the Yankees have been a house of horrors. But slew of moves, really before the series started. We'll kind of break them all down in case you missed anything. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast, and there's also the YouTube channel. Go there as well afterwards. Search for Section 420 Talkin Yankees, subscribe, and get notified when new episodes go up. So the Royals, kind of had this little surprising kind of a sleeper season. Again, they're kind of in the wild card hunt there. Again, look, if things go the way they are, it looks like they might be one of the wild card teams there. And so this is obviously a team that the Yankees may have to face, down the road if they also, obviously, one way or another, the Yankees are going to be in the playoffs. We just don't know how it's going to break out. Again, the Yankees with marginal lead over the Baltimore Orioles, who got a little help by the Red Sox. Thank you, Fenway friends. But nevertheless, the Yankees, probably going to be in the playoffs more or less. So again, Royals, if they squeak in there, well, this is definitely a team the Yankees could possibly be facing at some point. And again, I would be a little concerned because if you look at the second game with Seth Lugo, the former Met, basically absolutely shut the Yankees down for 7 innings. And if you want to look at the final game there, again, the Yankees were scoreless almost going into the 6th inning there, and finally, Juan Soto broke through with a 2-run home run to make it 2-1 Yankees. Clay Holmes, as he always does now, this wasn't a blown save, but it was a blown lead there, and of course the Yankee stadium crowd let him, hear their fervor there. The game gets tied 2-2, but eventually the Yankees will go on, tie the game in extra innings, and then go off and win a walk-off in the 11th inning there. So again, Yankees a little late magic there. Again, something they haven't been doing much in these extra inning games there. But for the Yankees, I guess the main focus though at the beginning of the series was Jasson Dominguez finally come up to the team now. We thought he'd be there September 1st. That wasn't the case. You figure at some point he was going to come up. You're not going to wait the last week of September, but at the same time too, you want to get him enough at bats. So you figure it'll be somewhere, in the early middle part of September. So it was the beginning of this Royal series. It started first with the announcement that once they were home, he had a locker at Yankee Stadium, and then of course the moves came down. Now it just wasn't him. It was also the return of John Birdie, who's been pretty much MIA. Pretty much since the San Diego series where he hurt his calf running out of the box there. So he's returned to the team. So gives the Yankees another option there at third base. Something that's been, kind of a jack of all trades going around there. Of course, DJ started there to start the season. You've seen a little Oswaldo Cabrera there. You've seen some Peraza there. And also lately you've been seeing Jazz there. And Jazz with a really good diving stab play during the series to throw a runner out of first there. But, obviously, is that someone you want there during the playoffs there where he doesn't have a ton of experience? I don't know. But getting back to the move, so with Dominguez joining the team, the infamous Duke, who was kind of the guy who took his place there, he's sent down, as well as DJ LeMahieu on the 10-day IL with a number of injuries, but one of them is called a hip infringement. Now, this hip issue, I don't know, this has been bothering probably DJ, I think, really going back to 2021. Maybe this is part of the reason why he's been struggling. He's had the hip issue, he had the hernia issue, we know about the hairline fractured foot, but this actually a hip issue, remember, does go back. I remember 2021, he did have the issue as well. It's kind of just shocking the way his numbers declined over the past few years. Is this part of it? I don't know. He's been maybe dealing with this so long. You assume something's wrong with him physically. Just the way his numbers have dropped off drastically to the type of hitter he used to be for the Yankees. But I think he's done for the season. They got him in the IL for 10 days. What are you going to bring him back for? He's finished. I know he's had little hits here and there a little bit. He's kind of picked it up. But overall, why would you want this guy on your postseason roster? He's just going to be there for maybe some late inning defense. But that even makes sense anymore because Rizzo's back. You might want to say, well, maybe Ben Rice, if he was here, it would be maybe late in the game. He might have the yips or something like that. But again, Ben Rice isn't here. Rizzo's here. So, all right. So that takes care of that. I don't think you're moving Gleyber Torres out at second base, but DJ there. Then third base would be the only argument where at least DJ has some experience where you'd rather have his late inning defense there at third base. Okay, maybe that's the only reason you have him on this team. But other than that, I think there's a good chance he's pretty much done for the rest of the season. It would just make sense, and it's a good way for him just to say, all right, he's hurt, and just sit out the rest of the season. And kind of makes him look good. Just not that he's been just plummeting with his stats there. Just the fact that they say, well, he's hurt, he can't play. So it kind of makes him look good, gives him an excuse to be on the bench in the first place. But all the talk, of course, is about Jasson Dominguez finally joined his team. Now, in the series, he really didn't do much. I think they went like 1 for 7, and they didn't even use him in the final game. Now, he did have like 1 stolen base in the first game. They stole third, and then after a throwing error, he came home there. So, again, we haven't seen much from him, I guess, with the power numbers. But, again, he just got here. He's kind of just getting acclimated and soaked in there. But really, the man who's really emerging lately has been Austin Wells. I mean, he got involved a lot with the Cubs game there when the Yankees took 2 out of 3 there, getting a couple of big key hits, throwing out a couple of runners there, and in the first game, hitting a huge 3-run home run, which really turned the tide of the game, and the Yankees would go on from there. Again, the offense woke up a little bit late there, but you're really seeing the emergence of Austin Wells, and even if they naturally said that, well, he's only going to get started or hit against the left-handed pitches, stuff like that, well, again, Boone's been using him against lefties, so you can really just see the emergence of Austin Wells there, which, you like to see that. Again, Trevino, I think his time overall serve has been good for the Yankees, but the long term, Wells is going to be the guy there, and you can just see this really way that he's been picking it up. I mean, quietly been doing this now for a couple of weeks. Even when they initially put him there in the 4th hole, I was like, what? Austin Wells? But he's really kind of groomed himself into that. Again, making some great defensive plays as well. I'm not saying he's a Yadier Molina or Pudge Rodriguez back in the day, but again, you just see him throwing out runners. His snap time, the framing's gotten better, so you really just see the uplift of him, which is kind of key there because Judge and Soto, at least power-wise, I know Soto had 1 home run in the final game here, but again, they've quieted down a little bit since late August. You just noticed that. Again, still getting some hits here and there. So if you get some other guys like for example, Austin Wells, just to pick it up a little bit there, it helps balance out the offense again because you're not just relying on 2 guys. So that's with the Yankees, and I guess a little good news to look at, and we didn't get the cover, of course, with Garrett Cole. Now, he made that final start in the Cubs series. Only reason that's important, that again, he did pitch well. He got a little outdued by Jamison Tyone, which is, kind of a little embarrassment on Cashman's part there, but nevertheless, but the good news there that he made the start, and that was after he had to get pulled out of the Texas game. Again, we had that cramp in his calf there. He said it was no big deal. He looks like he didn't have to be shut down or delayed there, so you take solace. He made the next start. Again, he was rather good and should have won the game ordinarily, but again, the Yankees had a little bit of offensive power surge, and even the first game when the Yankees put up a big slot of runs against the Royals there, a little bit of fool's gold. A lot, again, the situation where the offense woke up late, and again, it was sparked by that Austin Wells 3-run home run, but other than that, they weren't exactly tearing the cover off the ball. As I mentioned, they got blanked in the middle game of this Royals series 5-0. Again, they only got like 2 hits, and then that was going the way in this third game for the most part until finally, Soto broke through with the 2-run home run there. So, the Yankee offense is a little bit sleepyish right now, a little sluggish right now. Not terrible, but again, if you look for the Cubs series and this Royals series, again, Yankee pitching not too great there. So hopefully they're going to pick it up a little bit. So after this, you got the Red Sox coming to town. So it's going to be a 4-game series. I believe one of them has the Frank Sinatra bobblehead doll night. So I'm sure you want to get that Frank Sinatra bobblehead doll, and the doll doesn't even look like close to Sinatra, and way too much hair on him there. And it's kind of like the later year Sinatra, where you get a little bit heavier, and then you figure you take the hair back a little bit. But this is sort of like the young Sinatra hair with the older Sinatra body there. So not a good match for the Yankees. So they hold a small lead over the Baltimore Orioles. And the Yankees guys got to keep cranking these. Just keep cranking 2 out of 3. Got 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. Got 2 out of 3, against the Royals. And these 2 overall, you say, good quality teams. Again, the problem with the Yankees, even going back in August, a lot of, as they say, a lot of opportunities missed there by not winning series against teams they should be winning the series. Again, you don't always have to sweep. If they just keep on this pace of taking 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, and then, of course, you have the Baltimore Orioles for 3 games later in the season, so you could kind of really put a stomp there. But, after this and after Boston, they take a West Coast trip against teams like the Seattle Mariners, who are kind of outish of this, as well as the Oakland A's. As we know, they're definitely out of it. So again, the schedule overall benefits the Yankees. You also got the Pittsburgh Pirates coming up before you know it. Again, so there's a lot of series that the Yankees should be able to win and secure themselves the AL East titles. Let's see if they do it, and let's see if Jasson Dominguez can make an impact. Catch you next time.